Hey, I'm John Hines, and I'm here with my good buddy Ryan Burnt. And today, Ryan is going to show us some great exercises using the Jungle Gym XT. Ryan, so what do you got to show us with upper body first off?
I got two trainers here. We got Pat and Shannon. They're here to demonstrate a push-pull exercise for us. We're going to do a single arm inside row with an opposite arm press. One will be in a tabletop bridge. The other one's going to be in a squat position.
Please show us what you're doing, because I saw you do this earlier. I love this exercise.
Okay, we're going to start shoulder width apart with the feet, good square base. Left arm's going to be an inside row, right arm's going to be an overhead extension at that same time. So we're going to drop into the squat, light in the hand. We want to move from the shoulder blade, deep squat, inside row, and press. Now to add resistance, we can walk the feet forward. There you go. Good, and we want to make sure we're getting good movement out of the shoulder blade and good extension on the shoulder.
So Shannon's getting a lot of benefit here. She's getting a lot of leg exercise, but she's really focusing on a chin-up, a one-arm chin-up, assisted chin-up, and a press with one arm. So what this does is cause a lot of confusion and stability throughout the whole body and a lot of strength through the whole body. You want to make sure that you do both sides of this exercise in equal amounts. This is a nice full body exercise, Ryan. I like this one a lot. Another one that you might want to do that's slightly different would be a rowing motion, right?
Yes, we'll go to a tabletop bridge, and then we'll switch to a chest press.
Is that what you're going to have Pat do here?
We'll have Pat demonstrate that one. So a nice flat bridge to his hips to his shoulders. Again, inside chin-up row, chest press at the top. Good, trying to maintain that spine. We don't want rotation out of the core, nice and flat through the shoulders and the hips. So really stabilizing at the bottom of the exercise.
Now, for those of you that were looking at earlier when we did some of the beginner exercise, we were doing a one-arm assisted called an open up. What Ryan's doing here is just adding some resistance to that opened up hand and developing a lot more strength. So Pat's getting a lot more pull here, but now he's getting a lot more push to her here as well. And you definitely want to balance it out and hit both sides an equal amount of reps. Nice exercise. What Ryan was doing there, he's taking it out Pat's ability to rotate, which makes the exercise slightly easier. If he doesn't rotate at all, it's going to make him develop a lot more core strength, and it's a lot harder to do this exercise. So I like that cue as well, Ryan. Very nice. Now, Ryan, we're going to just do straight up pushing, but I really like what you did. It's full body, big time. Tell us about what you're going to do.
We're going to work on the anterior side of the body. So we're going to be in a push-up position. We're also going to come out of an elbow bridge into a hip flexion. So we're going to start with a push-up, and she's going to do hip flexion out of that push-up, drawing the knees in, lifting up through that lower lumbar, and now going into an elbow tricep bridge. All right, coming up out of that bridge, back to her push-up, hip flexion.
A lot of movement. Constant movement causes constant adaptation. She's developing a lot of stability here in her upper body as well, getting the basic strength exercise for the upper body and the big-time core constantly because of all of this movement. Nice exercise, right?
Main thing is we maintain that lower lumbar nice and high. We call it cat back. Keep it flexed up. As soon as that back starts to dip, we want to take it out.
I like that.
So now we're going to move on to Pat. He's going to add in a little instability by using a Bosu ball, taking it up a progression. So we're going to do a push-up pike on the first one, elevating the hips, flexing the toes up so we get that contraction all the way through the lower abs. Good, and on the next one, he's going to start to tilt the handles, keeping the legs stationary. Good. Coming out of that, side to side, keeping that back nice and flat, spines in neutral.
Now, is he cheating this exercise because he came up a little bit, not making it as hard as he could do if he was lower, maybe?
Oh, yes.
Oh, there we go, there we go. I knew he'd take the challenge.
And let's slow down that tilt. So slow those arms down, side to side. Show a lot of control. Now come all the way out of it. That's your break. We're going to drop down again and hold. Bring it up about 3 inches. There you go. Now handle to handle. Try to touch that handle to the ground.
Now, ideally, when you're doing this, you don't want the body moving at all.
Correct.
You just want make that ball move and try and keep that body as stable as possible while you're doing this exercise. Pat's really engaged through his whole body, but he's still getting a lot of strength work done by doing those pushing movements. Awesome work.
Low back's always the tell on this one. Once the low back starts to sag, time to stop the progression.
So with any of these exercises, make sure that you're really attentive to the lower back and the neck. You'll see a lot of collapse in those areas, especially on the more advanced exercise. You want to keep a neutral neck, neutral lower back so we don't have any collapse on it. And that takes a ton of integrity throughout the whole body. Okay, next Ryan is going to show us some great advanced pushing exercise for the upper body. What do you got here, Ryan?
We're going to take you through a progression from a dip up into a tricep hold. So we're gonna get in a tricep dip position, almost like we're holding a bar. We're gonna go inside dip, coming down. We're gonna break this up in segments. Come up and hold, elongate that posture. Now I want you to go into a knee tuck. Good, there you go. Separate it, back down, tap the toes back to your dip. Abs tight. We're just trying to refine this movement as we go through. Make it a little more crisp, a little more clean as we're contracting two different muscle groups.
And you can see the amount of stabilization that's going on here for Shannon right there. That takes incredible core strength, incredible shoulder stability. Now what I want you to do right here, Shannon, is let's walk your toes up just a hair. Now, put more and more weight on your hands. Keep going and lengthen through the crown of your head. So what we want here is we want to open up at the shoulders so we don't let the body collapse. Where she's transitioning, what Ryan has her doing is awesome. It's a nice transition from assisted to then slowly she takes her feet all the way off the ground till it's totally unassisted. Nice, good work.
So for the next progression, we're gonna take the feet out of it. So all total lower body core stabilization. We're gonna stay with that same dipping motion, but we're gonna really incorporate the abs and hold that knee flexion as we go through the dip.
Okay, cool. So Pat's doing a full range of motion dip here. But one thing, let's stop here for a second, Pat. One thing that we love about the Jungle Gym XT is we can widen it like that. So now instead of a webbing against your arms, now you can do a dip without no worry about it rubbing up and down like crazy against your arms. We can even take it wider. And now, Pat, when you're coming to the top, you feel a little more horizontal adduction, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's an awesome transition, and it's a great way to make a simple exercise a lot harder just by taking them a little bit wider. Okay, now Ryan's gonna show us some awesome pulling exercises from more of a beginner level to some really high ones that Pat's gonna do after Shannon does them first, right?
You bet.
Cool.
So one thing about this is easy transition. We can just bring it right up to the top. We're in a pull-up position. So Shannon's gonna start in full extension from the arms. She's gonna do a straight leg pike, inverting her whole body using hip flexors, abs, and showing control at the top. So she's gonna straighten everything out, good stretch on the shoulders. Now we're gonna crunch in, good tuck on the way down, showing that core strength, nice tap on the floor. Bring it through one more time. Tuck in nice and tight, push through, exhale and reach. There you go. Control it on the way down.
She's doing this really, really slow. Very hard exercise. This is advanced for sure. To do it with a lot of control like that, that's a really good job, Shannon. That's not an easy exercise to do slow. She was trying to smile too, which even makes it way more harder. So good job, Shannon. So what are we gonna do next then with Pat?
We're gonna go to some muscle ups.
Awesome.
This is another movement on the Jungle Gym XT. We're gonna widen those out a little bit, make it a little harder for Pat here.
Cool, so we're gonna start out with an assisted muscle up. So you're just gonna stand and pull over. Beautiful. Now, muscle ups have become extremely popular, and people all over the world and country are doing them, but one thing that I really like about this is the ability to actually do it how it's named, muscle up, instead of kip up without using a lot of muscle. A lot of people just use a lot of speed to do this movement. This is a great opportunity to actually do it in a manner where you're purely using strength to do it, muscle up.
One nice thing about the Jungle Gym XT is it's kind of a hybrid. You don't have to work on that angle of a triangle. You can actually widen them out, give you more resistance, and you can switch the angle as much as you want.
So what's Pat gonna do here? He's doing some bicycling up, and then he's doing a side to side. So he cycled the legs, which is big time. He's working his core big time, but also without question, big time upper body exercise. Basically going to a one arm chin up hold at one point, and then all the way across, and then back up and down.
Next, we're gonna go to a windshield wiper. So again, a plank position, holding from suspension. Then we're gonna show that core control side to side, keeping that nice parallel back flexion to the ground. Good, and stopping before we get down to the hips on the rotation. Looks great. Again, very advanced movement. You wanna show control before you start adding range of motion.
Nice.